Good afternoon on what is a bright, warm and sunny day. It is Monday July the 4th. I've got a nice hot cup of tea and a box I want to delve into. And I've already opened this box because I've done a preview of the contents. The first thing I'm going to pull out and do a proper unboxing of is this, which is Homeworld Revelations, a tabletop role-playing Odyssey quick start, done for free RPG Day. It's from Modiphius Entertainment, and it is based upon the Homeworld intellectual property computer game, I believe, and this is the quick start for the forthcoming role-playing game, out in print from the publisher. So, welcome to the Dreamlands team. Join Metha Seged on an archaeological expedition to the planet Karak. You and your team have been brought together to gather historical records and artifacts on the wreckage of a great ship, the Kartobar. However, you are far from the only interested party descending upon the ruin, and at this point, the race is on. Can you be the first to the prize? Well, there's only way to find out. This free 63-page quick start PDF contains complete starter rules for Homeworld Revelations 2D20 with plenty of hints and tips for new GMs. A thrilling adventure leading a team of archaeologists into a 1,000-year-old spaceship wreck to retrieve valuable artifacts. 5 pre-generated characters so you can pick up and play the game straight away. Enjoy your first taste of the infinite possibilities of the Homeworld Revelations system. So we've got these characters, and as you can see, we have. Let me show you this way. So we have a security officer. So you've got the complete stats and skills, and aspects and so on. Some background on the back, and essentially it strips it quite down, back, as you can see, in terms of the mechanics to really attributes and skill areas, because obviously you have combat engineering, flight, command, exploration, medical and so on, and then you have a series of foci there supported by various aspects and truths. So that's the security officer, and we have these researcher, okay, and that is that's the chief medic. There we go. This is technical operations manager. You can tell because it's got a big wrench. And lastly, that's the pilot. And the book itself, let's have a look. It's quite digest size, but quite thick because it's a good 60 pages. And what we've got in here, so quickly into the contents, and the core rules, which explain the basics of the 2D20 system, which you will have seen from things most recently in the June role-playing game, and also the new version of Cthulhu, Acton Cthulhu. So we've got an explanation of the core rules, and how things work, such as truths and so on, with examples of play before we get into attributes and skills. Quick explanation of those on just a simple page. So essentially you get the idea that each skill and attribute actually covers quite a lot. Focuses, rolling tests and more. So anyone who is familiar with 2D20 system will pick this up fairly quickly, and throughout, you've got 60 pages. The publishers take the time to explain the rules and do so clearly with lots of examples. So I do like that in a quick start, especially in a quick start, because you're not getting the full rules, you're not got the space for the full rules, but but essentially having time to put examples in is really helpful. Then we've got to momentum, threat, fortune, and an explanation after the question, why should I give the GM threat? Now, momentum essentially is the equivalent of hero points or luck points in other role-playing games, but you can gain more momentum by giving the game master threat, which she will then spend on the environment around the player characters and also on her NPCs. Then we have combat and action. So there's an article on, essentially a section on why should you give the GM threat? Okay, well, because ultimately it encourages good storytelling, because you want a good threat to face on, you someone to defeat and interact with. So actually, you're dealing with that various aspects. You've got a section on social combat, social conflict, negotiations, so on. Again, packed up with lots of examples. I mean, I'm really quite surprised just how many examples that they fit in here. And then if you do get into spaceship combat as well, weapons and equipment. Fairly generic, I think, really just what's listing at the characters, combat knives, long blades, unarmed strikes, automatic pistols, composite rifles. So nothing too amazing, but enough to arm and equip the player characters in the given adventure, which is this quick start adventure. And you've got to basically use the scenario starts in the outer desert. It's called the Dreamlands, where the player characters will need to make their way to the Kato bar and explore, attempting to find any artifacts of importance. So here we are, out of the desert, ship in the distance. That's where they're headed, to the derelict, and then they basically sort of like climb in and descend into the bowels of the ship. Got some nice illustrations of the characters doing that. Don't have an actual map of what's inside that I can see, but essentially you've got conflict coming up because you've got various patrolling groups, whether it's archaeologists, guards, and essentially another breach team. And then here we get into sort of like the final scenes, destiny manifested, and the map of the temple observatory within the bowels of the ship. And again, essentially you've got game master advice as well. So that section there is on making use of threat and momentum, and also what happens gauging what happens if the players and the characters fail. So advice throughout, decent adventure, and at last, in the last section of the player characters, they've got their flight to freedom, hopefully having gained the artifacts they were sent out to find. And then following the epilogue, we have various NPCs, scientists, soldiers, captains, and whatever that is, which you'll find out at the end of the scenario, and that really comes to it. So that is Homeworld Revelations. Now this you'll be able to find on Free RPG Day. Free RPG Day took place on last month, June 25th for the USA. International is July 23rd, so that's coming up for us. So we're just previewing that ahead of the time. And I want to thank David Salisbury at Fanboy3 for making this available to me ahead of time, so that I can do this unboxing and the preview, to give you some idea of what's coming out on the day. I appreciate his generosity, and he really is supporting both these unboxing videos and of course the reviews that I will write of these in due course. So thank you very much, David. The usual cake and biscuits will be with you soon. Well, I hope you have enjoyed this unboxing in the Nook. If you have, please do click on the like button down below, and of course if you've got any comments or feedback, then I appreciate you taking the time to post those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to yet more unboxings in the Nook, where you will see me out here with a box and a book or game, or in this instance a quick start, which I will unbox and talk about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea. Then please do hit that subscribe button. Thanks again for watching. Be back again soon with another unboxing in the Nook. Bye for now.